Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/HalSparks. And, of course, Venmo. Do the $5 challenge, the $10 challenge. Heck, the $666 challenge. Quite frankly, any way that you could help the show is good. And the free way is just like the stream and share the videos and then subscribe. And I know I feel like I've already told everybody, but apparently you have to tell everybody every day, or this is how you grow numbers. And hey, the people that do it all the time have tens of thousands more followers than I do. Well, they have more subscribers than I do. They don't have as many viewing hours. That's weird. Isn't that weird? That's not weird. People who have 1 million subscribers have the same or less viewer hours than I do. Anybody find that weird besides me? Curious, wouldn't you say? Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. It's the Green New Scam. I forgot to. Looking forward to Hunter. Excellent. Yes. By the way, just in case we have any trolls in here, there is no Hunter Biden laptop. And no one knows that better than, So, they started getting into this stuff with, her asking. Hunter showed up in the middle of this, and then, and then he bugged out right when she was about to talk, because she was like, holding up naked pictures and being gross. So you don't have to sit for that. And since they weren't going to take his testimony, why stay? So
excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're
excuse me, Hunter.
Afraid of my words.
You're afraid of my words. I think it might just be that your breath goes along with it.
Oh. Oh. I like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
I think that's Luna saying that part. I don't know. The chair recognizes the person whose mic is already live while the chair's mic is still in the off position.
I think it's clear and obvious for everyone watching this hearing today that Hunter Biden is terrified of strong conservative Republican women.
Well, I think only the ones that look like they want to put him in a scissor lock. Also, what would you say that's different than any of your other Republican colleagues?
Because he can't even face my words as I was.
Face my words. Well, yeah, again, this is a congressional hearing. He was there to testify, not to be berated. You would have done it anyways, but only if he would have sat there and listened to this bullshit if Comer had just sworn him in. All he had to do. Swear him in, allocate time, off you go. Right?
About to speak to him. What a coward.
Ugh, terrible.
And this is also...
Why won't this coward just sit there and let me berate him to his face, unable to respond because he won't be sworn in? And if he spoke, he would be speaking out of order just as anyone in the gallery would.
A coward that sat right here in front of Mickey Babbitt, Ashley Babbitt's mother.
Wow, did she have the schematics for the gallows with her?
Who was murdered on...
No, she was not. She was killed. She was not murdered. And I'm fairly certain this is slander. I think this is libel. This is libelous language when you call somebody a murderer if they haven't been charged. You're not even throwing alleged around there. It's interesting. You can just do that. You can just call a capital cop a murderer. You just say murderer and just call, that's it.
January 6th by Michael Byrd, the Capitol.
Oh, and you name checks him as well.
Police officer. And you want to talk about a committee, a political sham.
Wow. Potato 2 just gifted 25 subs. Thank you. That's amazing. Bless you. It's lovely people.
I'll totally disagree with you, Miss Mace. That January 6th committee was not bipartisan. It was a complete setup.
Oh my God, it was such a setup. Almost like Ashley Babbitt's murder, where they shoved her to the front of the line and somebody drove her there. She didn't even know where she was. She just, some Antifa person whispered in her ear and said, "You need to use the bathroom? It's through that broken window." And she's like, "I really do have to pee," and blammo.
Go after President Trump. Go after Republicans. Go.
Why? Well, why wouldn't they? I guess they would go after Democrats if any of them had beat cops to break into the Capitol to stop the counting of the Electoral College votes. I mean, it would have been bipartisan. Unfortunately, the offense itself was not bipartisan. It's funny that way, that the panel had Republicans and Democrats, but the people storming into the Capitol and actually attacking people, all of them maggots. Weird.
Go after anyone that believes in free and fair elections.
Yeah, but let's be abundantly clear. The part of the process of free and fair elections does not involve the attempt to crush police officers in doorways when you are not authorized to enter a place, or to build gallows on federal property as an act of terrorism. Yeah, this is weird that way.
People that believe the Department of Justice should be fair and balanced, not
Like Fox News? Yeah, well, yeah.
not a political weaponized department of the federal government that is targeting President Trump, his supporters, people that walked in the Capitol on January 6th.
Yeah, but to walk into the Capitol, you had to step over the blood of cops that had been beaten and pepper sprayed and struck with sharpened flagpoles, tased within an inch of their life. You know, again, this goes to the whole thing. I am supposed to believe, and you're supposed to believe, that we're a group of people, God forbid. Oh, Surrender Monkey, thanks for letting us know. 50 subs. That's incredible. That I'm supposed to believe that if a group of people, God forbid, broke into Marjorie Taylor Greene's house, if they all and in her opinion, the only person that broke the law was the person that kicked the door in itself. Everybody who came in after was not guilty of trespassing. They were just walking behind someone that just happened to break the law, right? The person in front of them broke the law. The law after that part, once you break the law stays broken, I guess, is the Republican idea. That's what they mean by law and order. The idea is that Republicans believe that once you break the law, it stays broken. So anybody who does the activity that was previously unlawful is not breaking the law, because you'd have to fix the law to re-break it. That's the fucking theory from this dunderhead.
And now people that stood outside the Capitol, there's been no justice for Ashley Babbitt.
No. Yes, there was. There was absolute justice with Ashley Babbitt. She was on the receiving end of justice. She, in trying to break through a barricaded door to go stab people because she had a knife on her, she punched one of her fellow maggots and crawled through the door in an attempt to be the first through the breach.
Family. Michael Byrd has never been charged with any.
Right, which is why he's not a murderer. And that's why, like, if I was very careful in my language about, say, Kyle Rittenhouse, for example. One would think, and they were these assholes were very strict about how they thought that word should be applied, right, to Kyle Rittenhouse. And yet, when it's a black police officer working in the Capitol who spends their days protecting this idiot's life, even at the cost of their own, it doesn't apply.
Anything. He was let off, and he was given a promotion and allowed to walk free. And
right, because he didn't commit a crime. He was doing his job. He was guarding the lives of congresspeople and their staffs and senators. You do realize she was in the process of breaking through a barricaded door, and she was armed.
Hunter Biden just walked out. That is an example of not following the law. Hunter Biden.
Well, then, tell you what, have him arrested. Call the police. The dude showed up for a subpoena. He showed up. You want to argue that the subpoena is more about venue than content? Knock yourself out. You want to drag this fucking court case out for a goddamn decade? That's the way to do it. And this may be ultimately Hunter Biden's strategy. I got to be honest. This might be it. Let's make these motherfuckers fight a battle that venue is more important than content when it comes to congressional subpoenas. And honor the subpoena directly. Call their fucking bluff. And as far as case law goes, this shit could be ping-ponged back and forth about this forever.
Thinks he's above the law.
No, he isn't, or he wouldn't have shown up. If he thought he was above the law, he wouldn't even have bothered having an attorney.
Don Jr., Eric Trump, Ivanka, Trump family members had to come in to Democrat subpoenas and be questioned by Democrats for over 8 hours, each of them.
Right. None of them said they would refuse to testify, you know, or they wanted to testify in public. By the way, why weren't they called in public? As a matter of fact, you can make an argument that because they testified in private, but were never, say, given the chance to speak in public, that they were never called to testify in public around those things, that you could argue that might be the reason why he doesn't believe that just because you testify in private, you will be given time or, you know, an opportunity to testify publicly.
Hunter Biden runs away.
He didn't run. They walked single file. Seemed very calm.
Biden did not come when we subpoenaed him.
Well, maybe it's just not his thing.
He did not follow the law. And then one of our colleagues helped him evade his subpoena.
Really? He's there.
By going and reserving a press conference for him on his behalf, helped him evade the subpoena,
That's not... The subpoena doesn't require you in any format to not do anything else. If that was true, Jim Jordan would be under the jail right now.
Hunter Biden break the law.
No. I would argue he sat on the law to see how much it could take.
Let's talk about his own father's words. President Joe Biden said in October 2021 that individuals who defy subpoenas from the January 6th House Select Committee should be prosecuted. And the Justice Department...
Yeah, I would agree with that because it was about an attack on our Capitol, not just a generalized, you know, inquiry.
And indicted.
Also, the people that they were talking about were members of Congress. They were literal members of Congress. The people who were defying them were either members of the administration, they were government employees, either at the time that Jan 6 happened, or they were in the lead up to it and had worked in the White House. They were not private citizens or relatives. If you'll notice, if Don Jr. and Eric hadn't done it, if they hadn't shown up, more than likely, I think they were just even requests. I don't think they had to be subpoenaed. I'd have to go back and look. But they came willingly. But they arguably probably could have fought it as people, you know, Ivanka might have had a hard time. But Eric and Don Jr. are not technically and never were federal employees.
Steve Bannon for doing so.
Right. He worked in the White House.
In November 2021. Hunter Biden's father, the President of the United States, said that he should be prosecuted. Anyone that defies...
Yeah, because he worked in the White House. He was in the White House. Hunter wasn't. He's a private citizen.
As a subpoena should be prosecuted. Hunter Biden didn't show up for his subpoena.
Yeah, he did. You just saw him.
Hunter Biden showed up today to make a clown show of himself to show that...
Well, then I think he's got some work to do. First of all, he needs bigger shoes.
He is nothing but someone that will not obey the law.
Well, he is now. Otherwise, he'd have been smoking crack and blowing it in your face, I think. Yeah.
Wants to show up when he wants to.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't charge him with a crime, and you don't have evidence of a direct crime that is part and parcel to this. So it's part of an inquiry, but you don't actually have. He's not being charged with the crimes that you're having him brought in on, and they're not germane to the government in general. You don't have oversight over citizens, even if and when they are charged with tax crimes, for example. It's not your job. You can bring in the people who charged them or didn't charge them and ask them questions, but you can't supersede them and just scoop up American citizens. If you had that ability, it'd be just as fucking scary as Trump and his magic immunity.
And sits here with a smug look on his face and runs away when it's my turn to talk.
Well, no, I think he just left when he started passing out time because he wasn't going to get he wasn't going to be sworn in and allowed to testify. And so sitting there just being berated for whatever reason wouldn't be worth it. You just, sit there quietly during the whole thing. You just go, if they're not going to let me talk, I'm out of here. That was the thing. Instead of letting him talk or letting him, because you make an opening statement before you see, that's how the actual committee works. I don't know how long you've actually been there, but that's how these committees work, is that the chairman says something, the ranking member says something, and then the witnesses are allowed to make a statement, and then assholes like you can, get your 5 minutes and then reserve time and give back time and run out your time and all that shit. You're allowed to do that afterwards. But once Comer directed 5 minutes to you while he was sitting here, that meant they were not going to swear him in. That was not going to happen. So he left. That's hilarious.
Not only is he a criminal, but he is a coward.
Well, he's not technically a criminal yet. I mean, even if you engage in criminal activity, if you're never charged for it, you're not a criminal at that point. You could say they're a lawbreaker or something, but then you'd have to talk about yourself in a couple of areas.
Nothing but a coward. Let's talk.
Well, if he was nothing but a coward, he wouldn't have even shown up there, wouldn't he? Wouldn't he have been wouldn't he have just stayed home while he thought he was above the law and a coward? How do cowards think they're above the law? I mean, I got to say, thinking you're above the law doesn't sound like cowardice. It sounds very bold.
About voting for things.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We have members on this committee that are on record on their own Twitter accounts talking
Which is a legal record.
Talking about people blowing off subpoenas on the January 6th committee.
Right, people that are actually serving in government positions. They're not private citizens.
States the rule of law is stirring all over America. That's Representative Jamie Raskin. Right here, I'll enter this for the record. Representative Jamie Raskin. Steve Bannon has been convicted of acting in contempt of Congress. My argument with Rep. Gates is now settled. If subpoenaed,
Yeah, but again, you're welcome to bring up this contempt charge and try to get it through the House. And if he's found in contempt of it, he can fight that in court. Steve Bannon just blew it off.
Show up and assert any privilege you think applies to specific questions, but you can't blow off the proceeding.
Yes. Does anybody remember the day Steve Bannon showed up in public and said, I'll testify right here, but I'm under oath, but I'm not going to do it behind closed doors? Does anybody remember that ever happening? You ever remember him coming to any of the gatherings? No?
Blew it off. Walking in today is too late.
Too late. Because subpoenas are like milk.
We have to hold Hunter Biden in contempt of Congress because he's not above the law, and neither is the President of the United States.
Well, hang on to that, because we're still waiting for a 3-panel group of judges, a 3-judge panel, to make a determination about that, because Trump is arguing that the president is indeed above the law. And if he is, he's sure as fuck gonna pardon Hunter before you guys ever get a bite at that apple. So, I think you're wasting your fucking time, quite frankly. Again, if you don't want to be wasting your time, I would call Trump up and bitch him out for trying to give the president the most latitude legally that any human being on the planet has ever had, except for maybe Pol Pot.
This committee has produced more evidence.
Information. I wouldn't call it evidence.
More evidence that any Democrat ever dreamed of having against President Trump.
No, I think the Epstein flight logs are well within the bubble of dreaming. I don't need to dream any farther than that.
And his family, while they constantly make up lies and attacks about the Trump family.
Which part?
Sorry, folks. We had a bit of a power outage. I had to go working down there. I had to crawl down under the desk. Apparently, there was some sort of something happened out on the street. I think it might be a transformer or something like that. So we think it might be the deep state. We don't rightly know. But give us 1 second. We'll be back there with you. Hang on to yourself. Hang on to your butts. We'll be back there in just 1 second. I'll get Hal out here in just a minute. Those of you don't know me, I'm Glenn, and I work under the desk most of the time. Very far under the desk. Well below the Earth's crust.
Okay, I think I'm fine. I think I'm all right. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so power went out. Just patoosh, the whole thing. Just patow. It all just went to sleep all at once. As a matter of fact, one of my lights didn't come back on. Although, I will say, oddly enough, if I may, see if I can try to get this guy to... Hey, there it goes. That's it. Oh, lights back on. Look at that. Hey, all my lights are working again. I don't know what happened, but when the power went out, I went out, threw the breaker, and then came back in, waited for everything to restart. There was a update, and when it was happening, my ring light, which had died, and I had changed the plug on it and done all kinds of shit, and it just, I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to get a new ring light. That one's screwed. Just came back on. Just came back. Just yeah. I'm pretty sure it was the kidney. Well, dude, we just don't know. So, hi, how are you? And chat room, hi, there you are. Sorry about that. I missed you. I was so scared. You were gone. You were there 1 second, and then you were all gone. The screen went to black, and you were gone. It was so very, very sad. Where were we? Oh, we were looking at Marjorie Taylor Greene blathering about some bullshit. We can skip past that because there's a bunch of other stuff that I want to get to that I never got a chance to get to.